What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am officially back. If you guys don't know, I took a little break, and it's been like 3 weeks or so, almost an entire month since I recorded a video. But you know what? We're back. I've taken some time to myself. I played a few new Friday Night Funkin' mods. I played some stuff with my friends. I finally have Minecraft again now, so we could play modded Minecraft maybe. But if you guys would like to see any of those, make sure you subscribe. Make sure, because we are almost halfway to 200. So it'd be really appreciated if you guys click that like and subscribe button. You know, it'd be really nice of you guys. Also, make sure you guys like, please. Anywho, we're gonna continue where we left off on Password. I remember that it was pretty emotional. I remember it was pretty emotional. But you know what? Hey, we're gonna continue. Let's go continue. Oh wait, crap. I was looking back, so I was making Minecraft skins, so I went back on the chapter. Hold on, let me load. Day 20. There we go. Alright, here we are. Alright, let's continue. My head hurt. I couldn't tell how or why it was hurting, but it was. All the while I slept. What? I was cold, wet, with something fluffy wrapped over my shoulders. High above, the sun was warm, bright, and cloudless sky. The sound of splashing coming from nearby. What's going on? Dean's telltale chuckle from behind me, followed by his arms around my middle, explained the softness I was leaning against. Finally awake? Where are we? Hey everyone, he's awake! Hey, we're at the... Wait, huh? Awake? You got us worried. Not letting you jump in was a bad idea. What's going on? I didn't understand. I was confused as to where we were, why we were here, but I didn't know but what I did know was that my head was hurting bad. Dave? Then it was all gone in an instant. I was floating again in darkness and... oh shoot. And eventually something else surfaced. You can't stack those, it's bullshit! Are you sure? Dude, calm down. Not even you drawing the card. It's not even you drawing the cards, it's Dave. It's... huh? I could feel my heart rate rising quickly, the confusion only getting worse. These were just dreams, right? But they felt different somehow. The feeling in my head no better either. But then everything was gone. Everything came back into focus, and I was right where I went to bed the night before. No headache, heart still racing, but things felt real again. I was still on my side with Tyson right up behind me, holding me tight. My mind flashed back to the night before, reminded by the fact that we were naked, what we'd done. Not that I hated it, quite the opposite, but laying here with him sleeping had my worries. Maybe we crossed the line too quickly. Maybe things won't work out and we just ruined what we had. Placing my hand softly on his, I leaned back against him and listened as he breathed. It was leveled, relaxed, and I closed my eyes to try to get some more sleep. You try to go to sleep and he immediately wakes you up. Bro, if that ever happened to me, I'd be pissed. I wake up trying to go to sleep and then I'm like, hey, you awake? I'll be like, oh, I am now. Hey, you awake? Yeah, was probably going to get up soon though. He growled playfully next to my ear. The arm around my chest tightened a little. I'm not gonna let me at you again. Maybe later, Ty. I'm not feeling it. He was shocked with the answer and pulled back. I took the opportunity to sit up and then put some pants. I needed to clear my head and left the room soon after. I was barely dressed, but I needed to get away from him for just a second. I loved him in the best of ways, but part of me was scared of the fact that, not that I had anything to compare against, but the sex was great too. You guys don't know the sex. Dave, what's wrong? He stopped me on the stairs, hand on my shoulder. What's gotten into you? The scent was still all over me, seeping into my fur from the night before. It was a strange mix between comfort and worry. I had turned to him, eyes sunken, not knowing where to look. Last night wasn't a mistake, was it? What? Like, did we cross that line too quickly? Should we have talked more about what happened and what's there to talk about? Ty, you know I love you, right? Yeah. And you sure you love me, right? Yeah. What? You're doubting that now? It's not that. I'm worried, right? Worried that I'm getting my wires crossed and all. Worried that I'm doing something for the wrong reasons. And something going to dawn on me one day. And I'm just gesturing loosely in the air. I sat down on the stairs. Moments later, Tyson was next to me with his hands loosely on his lap. What's wrong about it? When I tried to save you the first time, you punched me in the nose, and then when I begged you to not go, you wanted me to have sex with you. I saw him looking around quickly in a panic, but he didn't say anything, so I continued. When it happened, I was so focused on doing anything to keep you alive and safe. So focused that all the time I didn't really register what happened. But now that we've done it, what if I just let you call the shots like that? I don't understand. I thought that, didn't we? It was a really bad thing, Ty. So I'm worried that now we're together, that things might just happen again. Not even on purpose, but I'm a little worried about putting too much trust in you. Maybe just a little. Well, that hurts. I'm sorry, but I can't just ignore something like that, Ty. So, that's it? Do you want out? No, Ty, I don't want out. I just want some reassurance that I'm not going to be, that word, for trying to do right by you. That you're going to hit me just because you're in a bad mood, or anything else terrible. You can't do that anymore. Abusive relationship. You wouldn't. Well, it doesn't change the fact that you did, and that scares me. He shuffled around, snatching my hand, holding it in his. I get that I'm new to this, but all that shit was because I was too much of a wimp to admit I loved you that much. It's not an excuse, I know. Ty, if you loved me that much, why would you want to push me away or even resort to something so horrible? I don't know. I'm messed up in the head, I guess. Oh. Is there anything I can do? To prove that it won't happen again? Ty, I don't know. Everything going so fast in my head right now. He reached out and cut my cheeks lightly, rubbing his thumb against it carefully. Help me understand, please. That's what I keep telling people. If I don't understand something, help me understand. Just because I don't understand something, don't be like, oh, you won't get it, you won't understand. Help me understand, damn it. For real, just help me. You love me, right? Of course I do. And it's not just because because we had sex. Look, that part's fucking amazing. Especially after not getting to do it after so long, yeah. But that's not the reason I love you, alright? Then why? Shit, where do I start? I'm not good with this gay stuff. Try for me. I like how you look out for me. I want to do the same for you. I don't know when it happened, but at some point I couldn't stop thinking about ways to make you smile just so I could see it again. His ears drooped slightly and he shook his head. It sounds gay as hell, but that's just what I feel. I don't want to do bad things. I'm sure I'll fuck up at some point, but now that I have you, I'm scared to give you a reason to leave. Oh my god. I get that. Just promise me, Ty, if anything that bad comes up again, before you do anything else, we talk about it. Even if it's going to upset me, even if it's going to upset you, we have to talk to one another. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and send it to Ren. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and send it to Ren, guys. He's currently on vacation, so he's currently on vacation, so he won't be able to play Password with me for the next 3 weeks, I think. I don't know. I don't know when he'll be back, but you know, I'm excited. Okay. Ty, promise. Promise. Okay. Want to head back to bed? Yeah, sure. We headed back to bed and cuddled. I nestled under his chin and he had his arm around me, just rubbing my back. I don't know at what point I dozed off again, but I felt somewhat relieved, though the dreams I had still bothered me. When I woke again, I felt rested. It's like someone once again cuddling me from behind. I could tell he was awake though, and once more I placed my hand on his. Hey. Morning. How are you feeling? Fine, I guess. Okay. Cool. His tone said it all, and I wove my fingers between his, leaning back. I got a new mic, guys. For you guys, it's probably like gonna be glitching for some time. That's why I need a new mic. I'm gonna get like a mic that's not connected to my headphones. Like, I need better equipment and all that. Again, I'm broke, guys. Sounds said it all, and I wove my fingers between his, leaning back. Boyfriend. His tail started whacking at a steady thump up under the blanket, cued me into his mood immediately. So I wasn't dreaming. It's real. Yep, it's real. He leaned over and kissed me on the cheek before sitting up in bed with me following suit. It's kind of strange, huh? It's weird, yeah, but I like it. Is there anything you want to do today? Well, I know that look immediately. Well, if you're offering, you're as bad as Dean now that you've been unable. I wouldn't say as bad as Dean, but God, Tyson, fuck. Well, if you're offering, I'm not. If you're good, then maybe tonight. We'll see. Fine. Then they'll know. I'm fine with whatever. You wanted to talk to everyone else, though, right? Yeah. I feel like the next few days might be rough, but at the end of the day, I've got you, right? Fuck yeah, you do. Hell yeah. After we laid in bed for a bit longer, we got dressed and headed downstairs. Now, before a much-needed shower given, we felt how we fell asleep the night before, though. we made it to where we had talked earlier before Ty took my hand and in his and laced his fingers between mine. He didn't look at me though as he did it, keeping his gaze forward as we headed to the dining room, maybe a little embarrassed. You could be a little embarrassed or something, I don't know. Why are you embarrassed for? It didn't take long for everyone to arrive, each of us taking a seat at the table, with Orlando heading into the kitchen once everyone was accounted for. At some point, coffee was put in front of me, and I downed it quickly, almost burning my throat, but it did wonders in waking me up. I should have drank coffee earlier this morning. I sound hyper right now, but I'm telling you right now, it's like 12 p.m. for me. And as the recording, it's probably going to be a later time for you guys, but I looked across who I spent the night with and flashed him a smile, and he flashed me one back. Although he made no effort to hide what happened, leaning over and rubbing my shoulder with his mouth full of coffee. Osmond wandered in with Benson at some point, not saying anything to us, and continued on to the kitchen, looking just as tired as I felt. Hey, everyone? The table went quiet when I spoke. Oh no. Are we telling? The table went quiet when I spoke. I wasn't expecting it to happen so quickly, but I stood up, cradling my coffee in both hands. I just wanted to say, there was no good way to start this conversation, but I at least waited until people had eaten something. I'd eaten already, and having something in my stomach made me feel less anxious, but the weight of what I wanted to talk about was still there. I'm anxious right now, just keep talking. No, never mind, okay. I sat back down sheepishly looking into my coffee, but a few moments looking at my face, the black liquid, I frowned and stood back up. No, I have something to say. Dude, just say it already. Fuck you, Tyson. I'm getting to it. I breathed in deep and looking at each of my friends in turn, setting down my mug. I'm sorry to bring this up. I'm sorry to bring this up over breakfast, but 2 days ago, I got the vault to work again. There was nothing but silence to greet my declaration. My eyes went to the table, uncertain on how to proceed, but I figured not saying anything was worse than just trying. 2 days ago, I was told there was a password, so I spent the day trying to solve it. Everyone seemed to look at one another confused, but still didn't say anything. I rubbed my head, unsure of how to explain this without sounding crazy. Werewolf. The password was werewolf, and what I saw was Orlando dead and Tyson covered in blood. There was a thing in Tyson's room that was going to set him off, making a high-pitched sound or whatever. The tension at the table increased as I looked around to see if anyone wanted to speak aside from me. For the most part, it seemed as though some people weren't convinced I was serious, and others just didn't know what to say. So, the thing is, I didn't say anything because I wanted to try to fix it myself. Also, because I didn't want the person behind it knowing, you know? In case they try to mix it up on us. Dave, I think you could I think you could have phrased that better. A lot of it, really. I found where my explanation wasn't clear enough, but it seemed clear that Roswell was willing to ask anyway. For the clarity at the table, are you implying that there was someone here that set that up? Well, no, but maybe? I mean, it's possible, right? Dave, just spit it out. We need the rest, yeah. Dave? Yeah? How do you know it's one of us? I snatched up my coffee again and downed it for confidence. I can see this I'm picturing all this in my head, like animated how it would go, like in real time. Just Dave like downing his coffee for confidence, like in those cartoons where he's just like chugging it. You know what I mean? Openly declared what I knew at the table. So someone's been controlling a robotic rat, and that rat was setting off a loud noise underneath Ty's bed. And that was making him go crazy. And he was going to break last night, but I found the rat, talked to him, and we all figured it out. That was still terrible, Dave. The silence stretched longer than I would have liked it, and with how talkative people were before I started talking, I started to chuckle with my own nerves getting the best of me. The rat? Eyes were on Dean as he slowly stood up, nodding at me. The rat! You mean the one we found in the kitchen? Thanatos? Ah, the god of death. No, the rat! You know, the one Dave was with in the kitchen. Wait, is that its name? Who would name a rat after something like that? But it's not a rat, is it? Dave just said it was robotic. I nodded quickly. Yeah, he speaks from the little collar around his neck. He's, I wouldn't say nice, but, you know. No? I mean, he's kind of a jerk. That's putting it lightly. Oswald, hey. Everyone's attention went over to the door leading into the kitchen where Oswald was standing, coffee in hand. Thanatos is a little gremlin, if I'm being honest. He made his way over to the table and stopped next to me before drinking from his mug and giving me a look. He's not too bad, but he's not exactly helpful. You're not going to tell them the important part? Oh, right. He's, also the vault. Confused looks were shared around the table again with Osmond sighing. Would it be easier for me to go get him? It might be better to hear from his mouth. I already feel like I'm crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a rubber room with rats. And rats make me crazy. No problem. The secret's out now anyways. Oi, I'm already here. Don't question the voice. By the way, don't question the voice I give people, guys. Especially Thanatos. Ren was questioning, that one episode ago, Ren was questioning me how I did Thanatos' voice, and I told him, like, hey, it's just how I do it. If you guys question the voices I made, well, then, mute the video and read it for yourself, damn it. That's not good, I'm sorry, guys. Everyone had heard it. They were looking about the room for when the unfamiliar voice had come from. I caught him scrambling up to the table close to the kitchen. He stood plainly in the middle of the table for everyone to see. Orlando seemed uncomfortable seeing the rat again. Everyone else was a mix between confusion and intrigued. Hey, Thanatos. Heard you were talking about my... Yeah, I was, He shook his head and looked around at everyone at the table. Well, go on. I'm sure you all have questions now that Junior here opened his mouth. So, the other day in the kitchen... Yeah, real classy putting me under that metal thing. Didn't even have the decency to ask. And at the table before breakfast, you could have said something. Just getting a read on you, wasn't I? I didn't even get a chance to get a word out before you started touching me all over. He grabbed him, by the way, not in the other sense, guys. Orlando shot Dean a sour look and then turned back to Thanatos, strumming his fingers on the table. We're not hallucinating, right? You're actually talking, and you're just a robot? Just a robot is underselling it. He's the Vault, and the AI behind it or something. I don't know why he's a rat, though. I'll have you know I'm a rat because I need to be one. I looked over to Oswin, but he just raised an eyebrow mid-gulp of his coffee. Seemed a mix between amused and intrigued by the answer. Well, I'm sorry I was so rough the other day. Not every day you meet a rat that behaves like you do. Nah, you're alright. I heard you were good with your hands, unlike I saw someone and wanted to check. Why is it you're looking at me when you said that? Probably got that thing Benny Boy wanted you to fix, eh? Why not just give it to me? I can get a car working. Can't be too hard. You can do robotics? Finer electronic stuff? No. Then that's why, innit? File on Dean said he had history, so that's why I went to him. Excuse me, Mr. Rat? What? Sorry, do you rather just prefer Thanatos? Or what about something more benefiting a divine name? Listen, you stop that. Thanatos is fine. Alright, Thanatos, I had a question. What did you mean by a file? Oh, easy enough to answer. I got a file on each of you. Just had to go look at them. Files? What sort of files? A combination of my own notes and publicly available records. The table briefly looked to Oswin, confirming that he seemed more interesting in filling up his mug with coffee. How detailed are they? The question seemed to give Thanatos a pause regarding Roswell's question before giving his answer. Very. Chances are I know things about you that you're keeping secrets from one another. Like what? Hold on, I think it's not worth delving into that. We have no way to verify that he's telling the truth anyway. How so? I think the better line of question would be, what does it mean that he used the vault? That might be adventuringly answer the question. I can't speak, guys. Again, it's in the morning. Oh, he's a very hit and miss as far as trusting him, I think. Or he makes it hard to trust him anyways. Real nice, Junior. As for being the vault, that's not to get. What's not to get? I'm the back-end system of it. Sorry, I still don't quite understand. Well, if he's the system of the vault... Well, if he's the system of the vault, then it begs the question to what the vault can do, right? I'm speaking not in his voice, sorry. Well, as far as we know, it does the whole vision thing, right? Remember, we had this explained to us some days ago when we learned about who's in the woods. Morphic resonance and trauma go hand in hand to trigger past memories. Real past memories. I wonder if that works in real life, like morphic resonance and then trauma. Do you think that would like get you like visions of the past if like triggered correctly? I don't know. I might do my research. Osmond grunted and I caught him side-eyeing Roswell, but keeping quiet beyond that. So, Thanatos can make us remember stuff? Sort of? If he's telling the truth, yes. Everything Dave has seen so far would have just been past memory for him. Can I just say how fucked that is? How do you expect us to believe that anyways? How else would you explain it, Ty? Those things never happened, but they were so clear, so real. I just don't know what else they could have been. Fucking drugged up hallucination bullshit, maybe? Nah, mate. Don't need drugs to do what I could do. Just a good high-pitched noise will do just fine. Noise? I started to growl, jumping and hunching over the table. He stumbled his words over trying to figure out how to phrase what he wanted to do, but I could tell from his eyes bulging that he had this together. Yeah, Thanatos was under Ty's bed. Ty made a grab for Thanatos, but came up short in the movement. The rat took a step backwards. I have a question. For who? Open question, I suppose. Do we know who's puppeteering him right now? Isn't he a robot? Well, yes, that's what he said. We haven't seen Benson in a while. No strings on me, that's for sure. He does what he wants for us, well. You sure? He doesn't take orders from anyone. Before anyone could get the words out, Osmond was standing. In theory, that person should be me. Alas, that's not the case. What are you talking about, Master? I can see a smile on his face. He's not. I can see the smile on his face, the way he stressed that last word. That word made me wonder specifically what he was playing at. Then, who? You all don't need to know that. Well, where does that leave us then? Dean, you really don't get it. It's hard to process, but the implications is at least to me is at least clear. Don't leave me in the dark. The implication is that one of us isn't it. The lump in the back of my throat kept me quiet, but I could see looks being shot around the table. The prospect seemed to cause everyone to second guess the truth of what Sal had suggested, and the silence was making it worse. Well, it's not me. If you didn't sound so genuine, I'd be second guessing that based on how you showed up to talk, how he showed up to talk to you when no one else was around. It's a little suspicious, but I don't think Dean's smart enough to play a long game such as this without anyone knowing. It'd also have meant that he had brought Thanos with him on the bus. See, it can't be me. Well, it's not me neither. If I couldn't put together a broken EMC, then I can't hardly put together a robot, let alone a full AI to run it. What's an EMC, guys? Let me search it up. EMC. Yeah, forget about that. Alright. It's not me either. Honestly, thinking about it logically, it can't be any of us, can it? I'm relieved, but why? I'd have to guess it's because he's the Vault, right? It's not just making a robot or an AI, but then to make the Vault itself really only means that you need a level of knowledge on this sort of stuff, along with the ability to construct it, right? Rules me out. I don't have the cash and barely get how all this works. Dave can back me up on that. I don't understand this from video games, honest. And your folks are in the mob. You've got the money. I appreciate that you can put that together, but I'd rather spend my money elsewhere, thanks. He's got a point. I imagine if Orlando Freely had the money, he'd do something to stop demons and ghosts from threatening to torment him. Much help that'll do to him. What about you, Roswell? Me? I don't mind ghosts and demons. He means the master of the rap bullshit smartass. Oh, no. Can't be me, can it? Why not? I'll admit I have the smarts, potentially, but resources, no. Isn't your dad a lawyer, though? They make some money. But that logic, we could be pointing at you as a suspect giving your mother. So what I'm getting at is that all of us are in the clear. No one should have done it. There was an air of hopefulness in his voice, and he stood up, leaving one less person in their chair. That's good, right? The rat's lying, and then... Orlando's smile faded the moment the snickering happened. Then Niles was shaking with laughter as he remained in spot on the table. Well done. Very well done. He rubbed his hands together quickly before looking at each of us, all while the snickering to himself. You convinced yourselves that none of you is a traitor. No one has the means or the opportunity, right? You should know better than anyone. David Holloway Jr. Oh shit. David Holloway Jr. I finally sat back down, worried about what he was going to say next. It was primal instinct to react in some amount of fear when your full name was called. David Holloway Jr. Isn't his name? Oh, David and Dave. Okay, yeah, I'm stupid. David and Dave are the same name, but Dave goes as Dave, David goes as David. Also, I wonder what the compendium has. I can't open it, so I just have it. But I went in it and there was nothing in there, so I sat back down, worried about what he was going to say next. It was primal instinct to react in some amount of fear when your full name was called. What am I? The Vault? How long have I been alive for? I don't know. This time around, at least 10 years, I think. This time around. Oh. I'll ask you again. How long have I been alive? How many irritations of the universe have we gone through? Now that is something I haven't been keeping track of. Too many. Then, is your master alive? Very good, Dave. Asking all right questions. The answer to that is complicated. Seems pretty easy to answer given being alive or dead. It's just one or the other. You can't be both. I guess unless you're a zombie. Zombies aren't real, are they? Depends. On what? I guess if you get resurrected after you died, that'd make you a zombie, sort of, right? That's not how it works, though. That's not how it works, though. I don't think you could give CPR to someone whose brain has stopped. At least I think that's what I remember Mom saying. Thank God. You're welcome. Not you. Not once. Not now. Not ever. Killjoy. So to summarize, we're left with an unknown master controlling Thanatos, who was instructed to torment Tyson, right? That about sums it up. Which leaves us with a list of suspects spanning those in the mansion sorry guys. Which leaves us with a list of suspects spanning those in this mansion, and from what I've got, Thanos implication spanning multiple irritations of the universe. Right. So I have a question for the god of death in this room. Yes? When was the last time you communicated with your master? He seemed to regard the question carefully, either weighing something up or trying to figure out if he was able to answer. Today. Wait, what? Any other questions? When today? Did they ask you anything? Again, he seemed to consider the question before answering. Recent and yes. It's getting us nowhere. How do we know we could trust a little shit? We don't really have much of a choice, do we? A talking rat robot is already a lot first thing in the morning, but here we are. Well, I don't like it. Tough luck. Can we just ignore him already? But without him, I wouldn't have known to save you. He's the one who almost drove me nuts, Dave. Under my bed, remember? He's got a point. I'll need your backup. I'm worried about the timing, actually. What timing? Why is he appearing now? Why is this only being told to us now? What's going to happen next? Easy enough to answer. Junie here caught me in the act. Not to say I didn't try helping him along a few days ago. A few days ago? When you started having your little headaches. And when Junior here almost crushed me when I made him pass out in front of you in Orlando. Tyson made her die for Thanatos and his fingers scraped against fur. He wasn't close enough, though. You fucker! He raised Tyson and took refuge behind Sal's arms as he came down on the table to block Tyson from making another attempt. Hey, Thanatos, how much trouble are we in? Interesting question. Why? Are you evil? Not quite what I'm getting at, but I just don't get why. Sal said it best that the timing seems strange. How long have you been in contact with this rat, Dave? Oh, that's a good question. How long have you been in the mansion so far? 3 weeks, give or take a day or so. Then about 10 days ago, we made first contact face to face. Oh yeah, 10 days ago was day 10 when... Oh yeah, because we went to the lab and we met Thanatos for the first time. Then a few days ago when we went on a little adventure and had a chat. I don't know if this is something I need to ask, but were you around when Dave went to the woods by himself? Yeah, why? Why didn't you stop him? Show a thing or whatever to make him not go. See, thing is, I can't make him go anywhere or show him anything unless he's in that room downstairs. He never went down leading up to it, so there wasn't an opportunity. But you could have just told him not to go there. You didn't even made an effort at that point. But maybe I didn't feel like it. Starting to see what you mean when you asked if he was evil, Dean. Did you really not feel like it? Wasn't my call in the end. What do you mean? Everything that happened turned out for the best, didn't it? You opened up about your old man, everyone started taking you seriously, and look at you now. Would you go back and change it if you could? Immediately, the whole table seemed to shift, looking up on Thanatos, and unhappily at that. I, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't like that I had to get chased in the woods, and I don't like how being outside stresses me out a little. But if that didn't happen, we wouldn't know who's out there. I probably would have still been bottling up what happened to Dad, too. That's what you said last time, too. Oh. Now, all I remember, let me hijack this conversation. Before we spend the next hours accusing me of things, Roswell had an announcement. I did? I quirked a brow at the end. I was confused to what Roswell had to say, and looking over to him, he seemed conflicted but understood what Thanos was talking about, nodding slowly. Right. I guess that'd just be brought up now, huh? He took a deep breath and started to fiddle with his fingers, all the while Thanos. Oh god, what are you telling us, Roswell? Don't tell me you're behind this. So I have a confession. A secret I've been hiding from you all. There's no good way of saying this, so I guess I just... Oh my god, what? What? Dying? That voice, you heard that voice crack? That's how you know, like, my confusion seemed to the same as everyone else, but Roswell continued. A long time ago, I was diagnosed with something untreatable. For the most part, it was, begging? I don't know how to pronounce that, guys. It didn't really hinder me at all, is what I'm saying. I was told it was terminal. Oh my god! It was young, too. Real young. Right, like 4, maybe 5. That young? And you're 18 now, Roswell? I can verify this. I was consulted on if there was anything that Roswell could be done after the hospital and issued the diagnosis. Regrettably, Roswell has the right of it that it's untreatable. Is it cancer? Everyone seemed to stay quiet as Oswald spoke, his tone level and calm. It's not easy to tell a child they're going to die. From speaking with Roswell's mother, they sought out every avenue they could think of. Mom and Dad were very accommodating with answering what questions I had. I barely remember what I asked, given it was long ago, so chances are I asked the same things multiple times over. That was the advice of the consulting pediatrician. Granted, I second that advice. I think it was the right call. I appreciated knowing what's going to happen to me. I got sick times and whatever. Now for the big news. How long do you have left? Truthfully, I'm on borrowed time. I can make out the month, maybe another, or even a year, but... Renato shook his head. Wrong. What do you mean wrong? Remember who's seen the different outcomes of the month? Wait, it's less than a month? It's variable. I've seen it happen once, no, twice, but both on different days. You see me die of natural cause? That would mean I don't make it home. Oh my god, no! Depending on how the next few days play out, you might get home before it happens, you might not. But that's not long. 10 days or so until the end of our vacation. 10 days until Roswell dies. I'm being dramatic. I said it could be sooner than that. And how is that better? Because nothing has been decided yet. I thought you'd like the variants. The reason I'm bringing this up now is because of where we might... Sorry, I dropped something. Where we find ourselves. Getting off the mountain or potentially needing to make some hard decisions. I'm getting in early, so we're all taking the same page. But hard decisions specifically. Roswell breathed in deep before exhaling through his nose, looking at me briefly, then to Thanatos, then to Sal, rather than talking to the group as a whole. In the absolute worst case scenario, if someone needs to die or be left behind, oh my, no, would that be me? I don't look uncomfortable and don't want to look at Roswell after he'd spoken, except for me. After catching my eye, it was clear he'd noticed no one else was looking at him anymore. Logically, it'd make the most sense. If someone needs to be left behind so the others can survive or escape or whatever, it makes sense that that person should be me. So please, hopefully nothing happens, but if it does... He trailed off looking at the others as if pleading them to acknowledge what he said. I promise. The words were barely out of my mouth when Orlando stood up and suddenly stormed out of the room. followed quickly by Haas. They looked distraught, and Orlando, oh my god! Tyson shot me a look before getting up out of his chair and going after Haas. Roswell shifted in place before sitting in his chair with a sigh. There. It's done. Good. I might need time before I'm able to promise you anything, Roswell. It's going to take a bit to think through. Sal left next, and he half dragged Dean out of his chair, given he would everybody just left. Hope you're happy with yourself. I've pushed the conversation in ways that best benefit me, yes. Didn't really want to get chased around by the room by Tyson again. Roswell, were you alright? No, not really. But it had to be done, right? That's right. At least you know now, but where does this even get us? What happens now? I believe I'm going to take Roswell somewhere so he's not alone. Perhaps a slow game of chess. I'm sure I have some candy somewhere. But I'm able to hang out with him. Osman shook his head. You have plans already, from what I've been told. Besides, I think this calls for a doctor's touch. But you're not a doctor, remember? Boy, are you absolutely still young for me? Boy, you are absolutely still young enough for me to hurl you through a window. Mind your manners. Thanatos, do I die from being hurled out a window? No. Good to know. I'll leave Thanatos in your care for the time being, Dave. He pulled Roswell out of his chair and nudged him towards the door to the foyer. We'll have a chat later. And it was just Thanatos and me, staring at one another. So, oh my god, that sucks, dude. Come on. Bro, I don't know why people were shitting on Roswell so much. Like, Ren, he hates Roswell with a passion, but I don't know why. Like, Roswell's about to die. Oh my god. This sucks. Okay. So what? Ready for the next job? If I'm being honest, not really. I feel like that could have gone a lot better. It's gone worse in the past. That's been for one of the more tamer discussions on record. Tamer. How much worse could it have gone? Tyson injured my body to the point of not being functional. That causes some problems. I'm sorry. Dumpy just directed the conversation in a way that I wanted, so it didn't happen. Cutting it real close, though. He wandered over to me, kicking my hand. I was slumped over in the spot at the table. Come on, we need to go talk to Benson. Oh, right. I guess there's no break, huh? What do you need a break for? Get going. It was the last place I seen Benson enter, and sure enough, there he was. Done already? You were waiting for us to finish? At the behest of Oswin, I believe things might be a bit complicated, and figured he spared the time to play the mediator. Oh, it wasn't so bad, really. Then I was crawling from my shoulder down my arm closest to the counter and staring around the kitchen, seemingly letting me have free reign. It begs the question, where Oswin is now, though? You weren't listening in? Now that wouldn't be very polite, would it? Well, Roswell explained his life circumstances. It's alright, Dave. I'm aware of how little time Roswell has with us. Oh, okay. Now, I believe you had something to wish to ask me? How do you know? He glanced across the analyst before turning his eye to me. Oswin, along with other contributing factors, raised it as a potential outcome for today. I'm sorry. You can avoid it if you want. No, it's quite alright. Although I do wonder how much you'll get from it. Three of us headed back to the dining room and dropped the analyst back on the table as I looked around, wondering how best to start. To clarify, you want to see what we can find out from what you saw in the vault regarding my death, yes? Right. Well then, let's see what you remember. It's been a while, but, from my eyes trailing to the floor, right where I remembered Benson laying dead. It happened right here, where you were standing, although, well, obviously you were on the ground, dead. May I have a cause of death? Gunshot wound? Where? In the dining room? In the head, Benny boy. Oh, right, yeah, on your, right temple? Betsa looked around the room, slowly scanning the room with a frown. Would it help if I gave more details? Please. So, there's a gun in your left hand, you were kind of just sprawled out on the ground on your side. There's not really more I can go over because I really only have fragments to go with. Describe the gun to me. Big, silver, like a cowboy gun? Yeah, a revolver. Interesting. Why is that interesting? Well, that would be Oswin's gun. I was slated to clean it that night as I've been put off, but with everyone searching the place for a gun, I figured I wouldn't casually do it in the dining room table once everyone had turned in. Why would you need to clean it? Proper gun maintenance is important. At least you're running a risk of injury when you actually need it. Huh, I guess that's understandable. It'd be while you wash your brushes after you finish painting. Painting? Really? Well, I don't kill people or use guns. I don't know these things. It does raise interest and possibility, however. In what way? Quite simply, why was I holding Oswin's gun? And in my left hand, no sense. You were cleaning it, right? I was, but why would I not have just used my own? Presumably because you didn't have it? A fair assumption, but there are other problems. Notably, if I was shot in the head with Oswin's revolver, chances are there'd be slightly significant part of my head, well, missing. A detail you omitted from your recount. Oh, well, yeah, your head was there. Donatus, how much of this event do you know? Why do you want to know? Fine, remain unhelpful. Donatus, you wanted me to look into this. Fine. It says Benson is getting it. He wasn't shot with the gun you found him with. Which leaves one of the other guns that I kept loaded, mine. There isn't any other guns in the house? There are, but kept under lock and key, unloaded, and in my private quarters behind another locked door. That's a lot of locks. It's called proper weapon storage. Where are the keys? You have them, right? They're safe, yes. Okay, good. So my immediate thought was that either someone brought their own weapon or used mine. But why would they hand over your own? But why would you hand over your own gun? Good question. We can rule out any outside interference. How can you be sure? No one entered the house that night. Only people in the house are those that you are aware of already. A chill ran down my spine and I looked up to Benson. We can't verify that unless we put blind faith into him. All I can tell you is that over my lifetime, those that you think would show up don't. Not until, well, after we pass that point. That would mean the person that did it was either, well, pay him no mind, Dave. He seemed thoughtful as he pieced together what he wanted to say next, a frown forming. Oh my god. Almost an hour in recording. Oswald's revolver is in my left hand. Problematic as I am right-handed. You wouldn't have just swapped hands? But why would I do that? For fun? I treat my gunplay quite seriously. He's a trained assassin, Dave. You think he would take his gunplay not seriously? I might be past my prime, but I still have my muscle memory. Should the situation arise, granted, my headspace still needs right for it. So why was it in your left hand? Planted, most likely by the assailant. I don't think I follow. They're saying someone showed up, took your gun while you were cleaning Oswin's, shot you, and then planted Oswin's gun in your hand for what reason? Potentially to make it look like a suicide, although clumsy at best it seems. Donatus, anything to add? What are you asking me for? You probably know the scene better than I remember, plus, you likely know who did it too. Well, yeah, obviously. Then who? I looked across Benson and he seemed to stare into space, stiff as a board. Something had dawned on him, and the corners of his mouth pulled back tense. Benson? It's nothing. That's a lie. Why, it's you. Huh? We're making good progress, I thought. Next words out of Benson's mouth were almost a croak, but he recovered soon after.